Okay, I would like to show you game 9 of chapter 1 of the classical variation of this exciting book, The King's Indian, according to Tigran Petrosian. This is a very nice book. I hope you will enjoy it too. I'm very excited to review it and share with you some of the games that are collected and annotated in this book year after year. So it's really a beautiful book to have. In game number 9, Petrosian is still white, okay? So we are really seeing the treatment of a King's Indian from both sides. Notice also this game. Why do I show you this game? Because it was played against Stein. Stein was a very attacking player, very strong, and so the game is very important, especially if you see how it ends. Now, there is another thing I want to tell you. It was played in the USSR Team Championship in Moscow, 1961. As we can see, the King's Indian can also be reached by c4, okay? It's just a transposition. Knight f6, knight c3, d6, d4, g6, e4, bishop g7, bishop e2, castle. Knight f3, e5, d5, knight bd7, bishop g5, h6. So notice that in the book they really divided, also in the classical variation, they divided in different lines. This is the one that is called A2.4. Okay, so the author really made also a great job at dividing the lines and give you games for each line. Bishop h4, a6, castle, queen e8, and the knight d2. And here there is a diagram, okay? So when there is a diagram, we generally try to check and understand what's going on. Now, obviously, knight d2 is telling you what? That white wants to play something like this, right? Otherwise, why did he play knight d2? Yeah, maybe also because he wants to make a maneuver. I don't know, honestly. As you, I see the game for the fourth time, so I'm not prejudiced, I'm not biased, and I must ask myself the same questions that you will ask yourself. So let's continue with this thing. c5, a well-known attempt to radically solve the problem of a breakthrough c4, c5. So there was a possibility of a breakthrough like this, okay? Which in this case meets a spirited retort. Now, if you were white, because you see, this is the importance of seeing also games by Petrosian that he played with white against the King's Indian, because he cannot lie. In this way you really see the performance of the champion and what he had in his theoretical background to deal with this kind of situations. So with that said, pause the video, try to find out what will you play after black played c5, okay? In this way it will become also a good interactive lesson for you. Petrosian played d takes c6, the en passant, and here it's greeted this move with an exclamation point, okay? He says, a decision of an experienced master. Not everyone would go for such an exchange, but Petrosian accurately calculated that white will have time to build up pressure before the mass of black pawns is able to make a single move. So that's really interesting. Yes, this is really interesting that he played this move. B takes c6, b4, rook b8, and now a3. The exclamation point is for the original idea. Before this game, the move d takes c6 was known only in connection with the idea of creating a passed pawn on the b file. So it was played rook b1, e4, okay, and b4, b5. So that was the idea before Petrosian played d takes c6 with this new idea, okay? Okay, let's see. Since black controls the c5 square and has an opportunity for its pieces to play on the other flank, he also has a counter chances. Yeah, this is the problem. But let's see. With this move of a rook pawn, Petrosian starts a new and very good plan. He plans to transfer the knight to a5, this knight, okay, via b3, and play c4, c5, and capture the a6 pawn. So his plan is this, this, and this, okay? So that's what he wants to do. Let's see how the game continues. The game continues with bishop b7, knight b3. So you see, this is also why, 1, you need to watch the games over a board. 2, you need to take your time. You want to play blitz, yes, wonderful, but blitz will not make you create a plan that is made to kill a pawn. So you need time to think like Petrosian did. And that will make you a different player. So after that, continue with queen e6. As we can see, Petrosian continue with the plan of knight a5. Now, to avoid to lose the bishop pair, black plays bishop a8, to which follows f3 and d5. This simplifies white's task. It seems that the immediate knight h5 was better, so black should have played this move, probably because of this. That's interesting, yeah. So let's see d5. How does white continue here? Try to ask it yourself, because one day you will be in black shoes, in the black side, and you want to know what is white's best plan and how to try to fight against it. Or you will remember and say, oh no, I lost the game, because obviously Petrosian was kind of good at his job, right? Okay, white played c5, so he didn't take on d5, knight h5, and now finally the plan goes to fruition with bishop takes a6. And here it says white realized his plan and has nearly, if not entirely, a winning position. You snooze, you lose, and realizing that, Stein throws himself into a desperate counter-attack. So that's incredible, because Stein was no joke, and it will be interesting to see how black attacks and how white try to stop it. Knight f4, knight e2, g5, bishop f2 and f5. So yes, for a pawn, clearly black got the initiative, but obviously Petrosian is a master of a defense, and it seems he is able to keep the position. He continued with rook c1, entering the last reserves into the fight. F takes e4, f takes e4, okay, knight f6, e takes d5, and knight 6 takes d5. So this is an interesting move, right? Because what would happen if you take with a pawn? So it seems you cannot take with a pawn because white will play c6, and this rapid advance, he says, decide the outcome of the battle. Why? Because you will have to sacrifice a piece to stop it, so it's not really good. So as you can see, also as black, you have to think about what you want to do, how you want to take back. This is the reason knight 6 takes d5 to prevent this pawn from going forward. Okay? How did white continue? White continued with knight g3, e4, and bishop d4. An important exchange that weakens the position of a black king. So he wants to exchange the dark square bishop. Rook b d8, bishop takes g7, king takes g7, and now there is a check. Queen d4, check. Knight f6, attacking the queen. Queen c3, and king g6. How does white continue now? This is important because the next move creates a possible attack. So how would you continue if you were white? Petrosian continued with knight c4, a great move, a great move. Why is a great move? Because obviously here there is a problem, a possible problem. Let's see what it says, okay? Here it says, the beginning of a beautiful final attack. Petrosian precisely calculated the exchange of blows and the bishop sacrifice that followed on the 33rd move. So we are at move 30, and he calculated at least 3 moves in advance. Let's see what happened. Knight d3, rook c d1, knight d5, attacking this, queen c2, and knight c7. Here the bishop sacrifice we were talking about, right? Now, how does white continue? What would you play if you were white? And so white played knight d6, okay? And this clears the path for attacking the king on g6. Now, you need to calculate rook takes f1, okay, because here there is a line, rook takes f1, rook takes d6, which is obviously good, c takes d6, knight takes a6, and queen e2. That is very a problem because of this. Okay, so let's see how it continues, because Petrosian sacrificed a piece. Rook takes f8, rook takes f8, knight d takes e4, knight d takes e4, to which follow knight a take b4. Very beautiful move. Wow, boom. A takes b4, knight takes b4, okay, and now there is a nice move, queen b1 and knight d5. Here we have a diagram. When there is a diagram, you need to pause and check and see what you would do, okay? Here white played a winning move, so pause the video and try to find out what white played. White played rook e1, the winning move, the threat of a discovered attack on the black queens and the king by the e4 knight, because you see, right? And then you see. can be prevented only by moving away both of these pieces simultaneously. But this is against the rule, sorry. So what did black played? Well, black played queen d7. And how do you think that white continued? How do you think white continued? Because white made a beautiful move. So try to pause the video and see. So white played knight f6 check. And black resigned because of an inevitable checkmate. Okay, so here there is an inevitable checkmate. I hope you enjoyed this game. That was game number 9 of the King's Indian, according to Tigran Petrosian, a very exciting book. I hope you will enjoy it too. Thank you.